What's good, y'all? It's Terrible Shooter here, aka Operator Civi, aka Floral Daddy. In today's video, we're gonna be making a 9-hole barricade so we can enhance our training and give ourselves a better opportunity to work on our mechanics. So, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see the post that I put on Instagram yesterday, and it was just the outline of what we're going to be doing. So let me flip the camera real quick. Alright, so on the table you'll see I got some tools. We're going to need a jigsaw. I got some bits here. We're going to need some nails so when we're ready to screw in our 2x4s to make the legs and the foundation. I got a Makita drill here with a hole saw cutting tip. This is going to be used so we're able to use the jigsaw to cut out the shapes here. I'm going to use this bit here, place my circle here. You get the concept, use my jigsaw so it'll be easier to cut the shapes out. And you're also, if you want to try this at home, you're also going to need a circular saw. The tool that I'm using, this one is from Hyper Tough. I'm not really sure how good that brand is, but I'm pretty sure it'll get the job done. I do want to say, if you're a new gun owner, you want to try to explore new ways on how you can train and enhance, just working on some mechanics. So, instead of just going to indoor ranges and not really having, the flexibility of working on the mechanics that I want to work on, I decided to go to Home Depot. You guys can do this yourself. You can go to Home Depot, get you some plywood, get you the necessary tools that you need. You can probably have them cut it for you there if you're not confident enough to do this on your own. But I highly recommend you guys doing this on your own because it is a fun project. You'll feel accomplished when you're done with it. All that sweet stuff that comes with working on something that you're creating on your own. And it'll just be beneficial to apply to, your everyday training. So I'm going to make this. And I'm pretty sure it's going to come out good. I got my shapes, I got my cutouts already, I got my tools, so let's get started. Alright, so we ran into a bit of a problem. I can't get this bit out. This is my first time using a hole saw cutting tip. But luckily I have another bit. So if you guys are going to attempt this at home, just be mindful of, running into this issue. I'm pretty sure there's a correct way to do this. But it's my first time doing it, so we're just winging it. I'm going to try to see if I can get this off though, because I'd rather use the bigger one rather than the small one. Alright, so what I did wrong, I should have drilled in and out, just go in and out. So as you can see, that one didn't get stuck into the bit, so lesson learned. That's why it's good to do things yourself, guys. Alright, that's our second shape. And again, I apologize about the angles, but I'm a one-man army when it comes to doing the camera work, so I'm trying to figure this out as I go along. Yeah, it's working like a charm. And just so you guys know, I'm not working with anything like crazy. It is Makita. It's one of their brushless models. And it's a 12 volt 2.0 amp. So you don't need anything crazy, as you can see. Now, if you're curious to know, let me see, let me back up. 2 inches and 8 inches across. This one is also 2 inches, 8 inches across. The two squares are 6x6. Now I did use a reference, Viking Tactical, but I use their reference to get my shapes. This one is 2x10, and that one is 2x10, and I believe this one is 12x12. Excuse me, 6x6 and 6x6 for the triangle. If you guys were curious, but again, guys, all this information is available online. All you have to do is just Google. A lot of these things you can do yourself. Luckily, when the wood gets stuck inside the bit, it's not hard to take out. All I'm doing is, if you run into this issue, all I'm doing is just grabbing a wood nail and I'm just putting it through the bit to poke out the wood piece that got stuck. So. Alright, so we got all our shapes prepped for when we're ready to use our jigsaw. Actually, I missed one. Hold on one second. Alright, so now we got all of our shapes prepped for when we're ready to use our jigsaw. This might be a two-part video because I have works like around 1 o'clock, and I don't think I'm going to be done before then. So, but anyway, we got all our shapes prepped. Now I could start off with cutting out the shapes first, which I'll probably do instead of actually cutting out the barricade. And the good thing about this, guys, is that don't be afraid to do this on your own, because if you feel like you didn't do a good job on this portion, it's even. If you do your measurements correctly, you'll have another portion that you can go back and use. So don't panic if you feel like you fucked up. It's really not that big of a deal. Alright, so let's get our jigsaw prepped, and we'll start cutting out our shapes. Once we cut out the shapes, then we'll cut out the actual barricade, okay? Be right back. Alright, so we got our jigsaw prepped. Alright guys, and just like that, we use our jigsaw to cut out our first shape, and it doesn't look bad at all. If you did your measurements right, obviously you want to use a leveler to make sure that everything is even when you're outlining your shapes, and it'll come out just like you see here. So let's move on to the next one. And let me just say this. Obviously, you want to have some eye protection. I got some eye protection here when you're doing this. If you worked with power tools before, it's pretty obvious. I don't have to stress, safety. It's common sense. You don't want to cut your hand off or anything like that. So just use common sense. If you've been around power tools before, if you're a man, you should have some type of experience with power tools. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. So let's get on with our next shape. Just make sure I get this angle right so you guys can see what I'm doing. When you're using a jigsaw, you really have to commit. There's no, moving side to side. You just gotta go straight through. And as you can see, this is why we cut. This is why we prepped our shapes with that bit, so it'll be easier for our jigsaw to do what it has to do. Alright, now we're moving on to our triangle. See if I can do this with one hand. See if I can do this with one hand, guys. If I had a camera person, this would be a lot better, but hey. No excuses, right? No fucking excuses. Alright, and there you have it. First 3 shapes are done. This is for the bottom. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6 more shapes. This isn't bad at all. I recommend, again, like I said, if you don't really have access to an outdoor range or, you know, anyone that has private land, you know, with a lot of acres where you can go and train in their land in their backyard, you know, you got to get creative. You know, this is very easy. I think I spent a total of maybe I think I probably spent a total of $60 just for the wood and the 2x4s. And you're also going to need some platforms. You don't have to get the DeWalt or anything like fancy. These are working just fine. So just work what you have. Try to save some money in the process. But it's doable, guys. If you're a new gun owner, I cannot stress how important it is to, you know, find ways to train and get creative so you can work on your mechanics and stuff like that. It's not enough just to have a firearm sitting in the closet. So I'm going to try to do this with one hand all the way through with the rest of the shapes, just so I can get some different angles for you guys, alright? So bear with me. The jigsaw worked just fine. I think the jigsaw would be perfect if you pair it with the hole saw bits here that I have. These are by Rigid. I'm pretty sure any would do. As you can see, I'm just working with Hyper Tough, so I'm not, you know, using anything fancy or super, you know, high quality. Not saying that Hyper Tough isn't high quality. I'm not throwing shade at the company or anything like that. But of course, you know, you have your DeWalts, your Makitas, your Milwaukees, and so forth. And this is actually only I think it says 3 amps, 3.5 amp. I can't really see it because it's kind of scratched off on the skew. But again, guys, this is so simple and easy to do. There's really no excuses for you not to be able to up your game when it comes to firearm training. So you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but it started raining on me. If you live in Florida, you already know what that's like. 1 minute it's sunny, it's hot as hell. The next minute it's fucking raining. So, but it's not going to stop us from doing what we got to do. So the last steps on our 9-hole barricade is just to I'm just cutting some holes here so I can easily use my jigsaw to cut out the barricade. And later on, I'll decide, you know, to paint it. I'll decide on what color I want to do and so forth. And then we also have to cut our legs so we can make our foundation so it can stand upright. Alright guys, so we back. This is day 3 of trying to wrap up this 9-hole barricade. Now the reason why it's taking so long is because I had work the initial day, so I wasn't able to wrap it up. And then the second day I had work all day, so I wasn't able to get to it. And I'm actually off, and this is the 3rd day, so we're gonna finish this up. Let's see, the next thing that we have to do, let me just flip the camera around. Alright, so the next thing that we have to do is put on the 2x4s here so we can start getting our foundation. Alright, let me just set up the camera and we'll get to it. Alright guys, so we got part of the foundation on. Let me show you what we're looking at. So we got our first part of foundation set here on each side. You notice here I kind of drilled in a little too deep, so it kind of cracked the 2x4, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. Just a tip, I do recommend getting the camera focus. I do recommend getting some of these bits before you drill in your screw. I don't know what type of drill you may have, but your drill may not be able to just drill in the screw, so you might need a bit first to lay the foundation and then drill your screws in. So that's just a quick tidbit. I already cut the last part of the 2x4, so these are going to be the legs. I already got it measured out. It's going to sit like this. Eventually, I might add an angle to it for more support, but I think for now this will be fine because it's not really that windy in Florida like that, so I don't really have to worry about doing all the extra stuff for now. And as you can see, the weather's being bipolar. It's starting to rain, but I'm going to keep working and get it done. So this is going to be finished up pretty soon, guys. Let me try to get this camera set up at a good angle where you can see me finish doing this 9-hole barricade. So just bear with me just a moment. We'll continue. Well, good news is we're almost done with our 9-hole barrier there. But this is why you should wear safety, guys. Put your gloves on. Make sure you wear gloves for safety. You don't want any accidents like this. And I'm just about to finish up. I did all of this. Let me show you. I got it standing up right now. I did all of this, and toward the end, almost drilled a screw into my fucking finger. So make sure you have your protection on, your gloves on, so you don't have any accidents like this. It's not that bad, but I stopped it just in time. So yeah, we're almost wrapping this up, guys. Alright guys, so we finally finished our 9-hole barricade. Now it's not perfect. It's leaning slightly forward. That's because my measurements for the foundation were slightly off, but I can always go back and correct that. I just wanted to make sure I got this done. So let me flip the camera around so you guys can see what we got. There she is. Got a 9-hole barricade now. Again, like I said, it's not perfect, but you know, for our first attempt at doing something like this, I think we did pretty good. I can always go back and redo the foundation because the nails, honestly, they aren't really flush as well as I thought it would be. I need some longer screws, so I can always go back and make some adjustments. But the 9-hole barricade is finished. Let me flip the camera around really quick. So as you can see, the height is pretty good. I'm like 6'1", so we got some good height for the barricade when we do our drills. Flip the camera back around. This is the back. And now you can see our foundation here. I screwed this up, as you can see. But I decided to throw these 2x4s on here anyway, just so in case anything crazy did happen, the 9-hole barricade won't just fly back. At least it has some support. So this is the back. We just do another walk around. And that's the front. Alright, so alright guys, so we're finished with our 9-hole barricade here. I highly recommend you trying this yourselves at home. In the description box, I'll leave the information for like the tools that I use. I'll try to be a little detailed in the method on how I went about it. It's really not a hard project at all. It's quite simple. Once you get your measurements down packed, you're good to go. All you got to do is just start cutting. I do recommend wearing some eye protection. You don't want anything, no shrapnel from the screws or whatever. If you over torque it by accident, you don't want any of that flying in your eyes. You don't want any of the wood flying in your eyes, and you definitely don't want to have a screw almost go through your finger.
like I did. So always remember protection, practice safety, and if you're a new gun owner, I can't stress this enough. There's multiple ways where you can get training. You can seek out instructors. You can go to the gun range. There are some outdoor gun ranges. You just got to drive far if you're in the state of Florida, depending on the area that you live in. Or you can get creative like myself here and make your own 9-hole cage barricade, and just work on some fundamentals, some mechanics, and get on your shit. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This was a fun do-it-yourself project. I got an extra one over there that I'll be cutting out in the future as well, and that one will probably come out better, seeing how it'll be my second go around. But you guys know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. Remember, terrible isn't permanent. It's a terrible shooter, aka Floral Daddy. Peace.